Now is on Fire Watch. Good afternoon. I'm Linda Watkins Bennett. Thank you for joining us. Interstate 5 is closed in both directions because of the Delta fire burning in Shasta and Siskiyou counties. It started yesterday afternoon near Lakehead and exploded overnight to more than 15,000 acres. Here's a map of the fire area showing it's grown mostly to the north and northwest of Volmers. It's burning on both sides of Interstate 5. There is 0% containment on this fire. It is in U.S. Forest Service territory where fire crews have started a backfiring operation off a road that runs east from Pollard Flats to the Hers Fire's western side near Salt Creek Road. They're hoping to stop the fire's northern spread. Mandatory evacuations are in place for residents living along the Interstate 5 corridor, and an evacuation warning has been issued for Dunsmuir. An evacuation center is open at the Mount Shasta Community Center, and the Mount Shasta Humane Society is accepting small animals for evacuees. We have everything you need to know on our website at actionnewsnow.com. We also have live team coverage this noon hour, and we begin with Action News Now reporter Spencer Joseph with the latest on the firefight. Spencer.
I am live here on the front lines of the Delta fire, where the U.S. Forest Service is actually working on this area behind me, a very grassy area underneath this timber cut. It goes back up into these hills. I wanted to give you some of the headlines on this fire in terms of how firefighters are actually doing on the front lines. They say they overnight were not able to do a lot of they weren't able to do a lot of direct firefighting, which means actually being here on the ground putting the flames out. A lot of the firefight that took place was indirect, cutting lines ahead of the fire, getting bulldozers out ahead of the fire to cut areas so that the fire could burn up to them and possibly slow it down. Unfortunately, they're saying that the fuel type is predominantly heavy timber and that it's taking a long time to burn through large trees behind me. I'm going to actually spin the camera a little bit so you can actually see that a lot of the forest areas in terms of what this fire is burning through looks a lot like these trees behind me. While the grass on the ground underneath burns very quickly, the trees actually take a very long time to burn, and this fire is moving very fast through areas, but it's also burning and catching these trees on fire, some of which you can see here. There's one or two back in the back that have already caught on fire and are starting to slowly burn, but that's predominantly what crews are facing, and also the steep terrain is not making this firefight any friendlier. I'm going to continue to check in with the U.S. Forest Service all day long. I will continue to be on the front lines of this fire and make sure that I bring you the latest at home, especially for those of you in this area. Again, in this area, please heed evacuation warnings and evacuation orders if they are mandatory, because if you get out sooner the better. That's what the U.S. Forest Service keeps telling us. We're going to continue to monitor all of the latest, and I'll bring it to you from the front lines as it happens. In Pollard Flat at the Delta fire, Spencer Joseph, Action News Now.
All right.